maybe this is what sort of staple of success and healthy person looks like, then we have to prioritize things to find more equitable approaches to get other people there where some of us are already stable and we don't need that. I think that's kind of what I'm hearing you asking. I'll say too that, yeah, it is an ongoing, right? It will continue to be. But I think for some of the conversations that we're having, it sounds like Bill had too, is that like if you get too tight on a mission statement, that could just be too granular. But if you have core values that you're pointing toward and priorities you're pointing toward, that if someone looks at your community and goes, those aren't my priorities or values, then they wouldn't select this one. And that's a good thing, right? And so while like the way that you maybe live out that value at a different phase of life or in a different pillar, or just in a different, I don't know, in different communities, right? You know, that if someone's like, no, I want to stay insular over here and I don't want to collaborate, or we want to be competitive to the point that we hope to drive each other out of business, rather than be like, hey, there are two fantastic gluten-free bakeries. Everyone's gonna, there's just gonna be bigger demand and more exposure.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Just don't put them
That's
next to
been a
each
lot of it. You what?
Just don't put them next to each other.
There you go.
Well, there's a few words that describe what we want Bowling Green to look like. When I was working at Honda R&D a long time ago, when they came up with the concept for like the civic, they said, okay, fun and whatever, young, I can't remember what it was, but they just start with 2 words and then they go from there, you know?
Right.
So what few words are good for Bowling Green in 2015?
Diversity.
Okay.
That's going to continue to be a key area.
Safe.
Between now and 2050.
One of the big, safe.
What?
Safe.
I'll say,
One of the big responses too, I just went through Leadership Bowling Green and we had a whole discussion about tourism and what people say about Bowling Green after being here. And one of the top answers is that the people are so friendly. That's one of the top answers.
Unless it's 5 o'clock on Scottsville Road.
It's 5, it starts way earlier than 5 now, it's a Friday.
I think, and Corinne, I don't know that you have this, but you know, the lab, like the output of Sangeeta and all those work from, there was a word cloud.
I just texted you.
Look at you. Like, do you have that? I know. There was a word, like in a previous version of conversation, not. it's
I've
not-
seen it recently.
Yeah, I mean, so some words that were in there, right, were like essentially versions of feels like home and inclusive. Which I was like, right, it's one thing to be diverse, but diverse and divided is not much really helpful. Right, so it's collaborative community. I don't think I have any of them right offhand.
That's fine.
I know I have to slide show.
Okay.
I'll find it.
But no, it's a great question. When you think about it, what do you think about those words?
I'm thinking about just different things, like what town would I want to be in?
Right.
Want it to be healthy.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating to try to ride a bike around here and that kind of thing. If you're jogging on the road and 2 lanes of traffic and this lane has to stop because there's nowhere for you to go, you know, that happens to me every couple of days, you know, or every time I go running and things. So, you know, I think when we plan, we need to plan for that kind of a city. Up north, that's just me, I don't know.
No, it's like outdoor.
But they have wider roads, you
Sure,
know,
sure.
and whenever you put in a road, you always have to put in a bike path or something. And then maybe some sidewalks, but we don't have all that kind of stuff now. It's just kind of you know, just real bad traffic and.
That was one thing that was a huge concern for, especially the kind of the middle generation on our worksheet here is we want communities that are, you know, the walkability, the aspect of, instead of having to go one place and drive to another, you want to park, you want to have fun, you want to be able to go to dinner and have drinks and entertainment and do everything.
And some of the newer neighborhoods around here, a lot of people will go in the neighborhoods and people are all walking around with their dogs and their kids and things.
One of our
That's what I like, you know, just a friendly type of, I guess friendly would be a good.
One of our earlier members said, maybe we're a little too lazy.
Yeah.
And we don't walk.
That was you.
No, it wasn't.
Look
But
here.
he said that we aren't used to walking a couple of blocks.
Right.
You know, when you're downtown or something like that, that we used to park right there in front of it, and go right in. And we're just.
I'll tell you a funny thing about that too, that we've heard, I go to Beaver and Tourism meeting. It's funny that people don't like, people that are usually from the south, don't like parking and walking somewhere. But like in this case, it was going to a concert. But if they went to a concert at the M Center in Louisville, they paid 3 times the ticket price, park in a parking garage, and walk a mile to get in.
Right.
And have no problem doing it, but they don't want to do it in Beaver Dam, Kentucky. You know, and it's such an odd thing.
I have 3 words that describe the quality that I would like to be part of the future. And those are quality of life, whatever that might mean. For some people, quality of life means great economy. For some other, it means opportunity. For some other, means entertainment. For some other, means great education or the future. For some other, means friendliness, interaction, inclusivity. So part of quality of life really describes the fulfillment that we feel being part of a community for what we see, what we receive, and what we are being part of.
So, I love that you said all that. I was trying to see if I could get this up there. This was it doesn't come with an easy cast. At least I did for you. It's just an image. While I'm happy to pass this around, but. Split the table. So this was.
Well, I'd like to, with the diversity, I'd like to see / unity together, because we're all Bowling Greeners, we just be pulling together. It doesn't matter about diversity, it's about just, let's get us all working on the same page.
And I'll say this word, and I'm not meaning any political connotations, but I'd like to see word.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Oh,
This was the
Yeah,
rules.
this
This is all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I read that, so these are like,
Great.
oh, word cloud, so.
Oh, okay.
So, and this is actually word cloud where the size of the rock, yes, and how often it was set. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
Great.
But no, your public
I'm
health
not,
or.
I want to say unity. They're all one,
No, I think you're.
one family, you know?
Talking
Yeah,
about
just, I just want to, that's what she.
I mean, I also like, I know a couple of you in the room, but
I'm not
I
saying you
moved
said
here
that.
from Dallas, I lived in Nashville before that. Nashville's the smallest place I've ever lived, right? So I was
Same with me.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, but it is interesting, because it's just like, you could participate,
Diversity /
I lived downtown,
Unity.
I'm pretty sure it happened, so like, my dog and I
Okay,
walked to
I
the
see.
every morning, and I see the same people every morning, and I would have never spoken to them in another city, right?
Well,
anyway. Or I could tell you like who puts out green flags, because I've seen them do it a few times, right?
Yeah.
Things I just would have never known or noticed, but it makes you then engage and care more, because you are engaged in the little bit,
Yeah, so
so.
those are the
Sorry, right.
popular they were, so. That was.
Like, Penny Lane and the Beatles.
Yeah, exactly, right, there you go. But yeah, I mean, it's been
Which is
interesting too,
Kind of
because,
phenomenal, more.
the health part
It
that you're
continues
walking,
to
yes.
reiterate
So one of the pillars, and this is the reason I'm talking so much about this, is because I'm working on the public health pillar advisory. So I completely ruins the story version here. But what the group of us, so it's interesting too, because the distinction between public health and medical is a lot.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and that's not racism, by the way.
No, well, we actually kind of got into that down here a little bit when we were talking about the international community specifically. Those
Yes.
community educational services and resources and things of that nature also played a role, but with us, it just kind of.
Yeah. Totally hear you. So talk about just things you do not necessarily think of. I had a conversation with our city planner about public health, and we were talking, I was telling him that by coming from your city, where you wander around a lot, and I've always lived in a walking neighborhood, even though neither of those towns are necessarily known for it. I immediately understood the lit paths and what used to be alleys from like the Chambers downtown. It's like, I've walked all of those. It makes it so simple. I don't like have to wonder where I'm going. Like, it was such a lovely guide, and he was like, some people don't even notice it. I was like, I mean, I walk alone by myself, like, that's the same words. But then it got conversation. I was like, well, think about architecture in public health. And he was like, say more words. It was like staircases. I made a commitment to myself 15 years ago to take stairs unless I'm carrying luggage. And so here's the thing, walk into a building and be like, I gotta go find the weird dark corner to possibly go and hope it's not gonna be locked when I get somewhere, right? Like
Smell
on the
funny.
floor. Yes, that's just, but you think about it, right? If you're like doing a building and there's a staircase in the middle, like our city hall, you walk up it, right? That's not strange, and so just coming up into your point, there's a bike lane or there's a walking path, well, you might walk there, right? Like.
When you design buildings, there's,
Yeah.
in hallways, you put a little space in here when we design the R&D center.
Yeah.
You call a white guy, and if you're walking, and there'd be a little table there, just down any hall,
Yep.
just, hey, come on over here.
Collaborative space.
And that's, yeah, you're all working together, coming up with stuff and things, it's just how you kind of design it.
Yeah.
But,
No, I was gonna say, kind of building on that too, and what you're talking about, one of the biggest things in entertainment standpoint for at least the younger and middle generation, that we're talking about more outside type of activities, hiking and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Which on this side of the state, we're pretty limited. There's not as much opportunity because a lot of it is, access to land that's gonna be farmed routinely. But I mean, I think that kind of goes with that whole field aspect too, is getting people outside.
Yeah.
And, it's hard to get them outside when you have to drive.
Right, right. Yeah, no, it's a great point.
I think I'm supposed to be a grandfather for, economy or something.
Yeah, well, you caught us in what it's sort of a break and so we're not actively
Oh, okay, we're not playing it.
at the moment, correct?
Okay.
But you're stopping.
Oh.
That's why I said.
We're solving more problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had been for a couple hours.
I think we need to be on top of everything that's coming up, in the future, where are you gonna be? So a few years ago, I know some of the gun companies were moving out of New England, and so I talked to, Phil Neal, he's a great guy. Can we get a gunsmith program going? But there was a lot of technicalities which we did, but if we'd had that, through the vocational school, we could have had gotten some of those companies in. So you gotta be looking at what's, who's looking for a place to come and what's the new technology or what's, what are we doing? And keep on top of all that.
I'm gonna beg no leave for this point, I'm a household family.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good
Nice to see you, Gemma.
Have a great day.
Okay, so just for your information, everybody, we have a meeting in 10 minutes with the mentor. For those who stayed, I will be in the inspiration room, which is the other room where we met last time. And for those who want to just contribute and you don't have time, and before you leave, what you can do is take a piece of paper like this, write whatever idea or story you have. That's for the story wall, so that's for Richie 2015. And then we are going to hang it on the wall, so for people to see tomorrow morning when they come. As far as the recordings and the pictures and the documents, Michael and I are going to put some information on the big whiteboard that is in the hallway for people to see tomorrow morning when they come. Archive, so it's very important. Is Michael the journalist here?
He's in the hallway.
Right, let me get Michael, the journalist, right here in the room with us, because that is very good. Michael, come. So, all the documents, the archives and everything are going to be stored in, on the server for public domain. I want to make sure everybody knows and that everybody agrees and understands for the public domain. I'm just going to make sure that all the archives are being stored on the server, public domain, and will remain there as long as we wish, forever. I hope. So we're going to think about this. So if there is any issue in the future, because the idea was being approached today, and it's really good, this idea was approached today, what about if a communication agency, an advertising agency is picking up on those on this work and using it. So we need to make sure everything is correct regarding the public domain, and it's a collective work, a collective content of IDs and pictures and documents and words. Just want to make sure we're right. Okay, so
We're gonna have a Zoom in
Yeah.
about 10 minutes, so I don't know, do you wanna take a break right now, 5 minutes, and then go over there?
yeah, let's
or-
meet in the inspiration room in 5 minutes.
And the mentor is a renowned.
Yeah, the mentor is Christina. You have the bio of every mentor in the slides. So she's Christina from Australia, and so she has 15 hours more than Golden Green.
Oh, okay.
More. It's the early morning. And she is a teacher, a professor, a game designer, a writer, an expert. She was the first one to do a thesis for research on transmedia storytelling. And she works all over the world. And she did something special today for us on change design, or design for change. Because that's her topic as well. She's actually writing a book now that's going to be published soon on change. So that's very appropriate to have her now. So if you can stay to listen to her, it would be nice. Also, you can ask a question, because we're going to do Q&A. And in the room, we stand, but we can sit. And wherever we are, she's going to hear us because we have a microphone. So it's a conversation, it's not a master class. In the case you have questions or comments. Yeah. Okay.
So she's going to tell us how to tell the story?
I think she could, but I don't think she's gonna dare to do that. Yeah, if you have any question,
I'm just taking it in, Karen.
Yeah. maybe tomorrow you will have question,
Maybe tomorrow.
and that would be the good time to ask them the question to me or to anybody else.
So that's the.
Co-create, yeah,
That's where it'll count.
Yeah,
now?
co-create right there.
Like,
I see. And then you can sign.
add notes. Yeah, I took a break.
what we said before, again, we want to make sure it will be our collective responsibility with some of the people here, and Josh is going to help us. Co-create-ic.com is going to store all the information as far as links that will get us to some other places. For the moment, we added the link that is going to the slides, but it's a little bit of a mess because it's a work in progress. So in the coming weeks, we'll make sure it's going to be better. And we don't know yet how we're going to be providing the feedback. That's something maybe we should work on tomorrow, actually. I'm gonna make sure that we do that tomorrow.
So this is a combination of these and how to tell the story.
What you have on the board? That's a result from, yeah, let me tell you about this board. It's very interesting. So they worked as a different family before, like they were separated in different domains of expertise, if you like, or specialties or skills or domain. Then what happened this afternoon, they merged into one big, that's why the table is like this, because before it was not like this, the table, it was different families. So then they merged into one bigger, you were here, right?
No, I left.
Okay. So they merged into this big story world family because they were talking and talking. You started the conversation and then it went on forever. So then they decided, as a collective, I was doing a Q&A all the time, to continue on this topic. And Tara was the facilitator, and she put on board the result of their conversation as a strategy for communication regarding the stories that they want to tell about the future of Bowling Green. So this was made because for them, which is absolutely logical, it's too early to design something else. They wanted to first discuss the different topics. Though in the team there was somebody who was in the gameplay family, and I should have recorded myself. And in the gameplay, they came up, I think, 3 or 4 people together with a game already. So that was pretty good. And they wanted to integrate that into the stories, but it was too early, I think. So I'm not sure how is everything going to come together, but that's maybe the task that we have for tomorrow.
So those are the pillars on the left then? That's what they were talking, was thinking out the pillars and the storytelling for the pillars, for young, old, and middle.
It's information for Brian Rabick. Okay. Yeah, they worked from the 7 pillars,
The 7 pillars are on the left.
knowing that we said 7 because it's 7 plus 1,
Right,
8,
right.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the storytelling is always everywhere.
Yeah.
But we
Tweak them a little.
have more we have more information, I think, that we can use. But we will need time to put it together in a format that is readable.
Right. Or tomorrow morning when the next group comes in.
I think we need to go to the next room.
Oh, yes, yeah, it's in 3 minutes.